Welcome back to the Virtual Business Show podcast. I'm Lynn Prowse-Bishop, and in today's episode, I cover a topic that's becoming increasingly relevant: the impact of artificial intelligence, or AI, specifically on the world of content creation, business, and beyond. You knew I'd get to it eventually. This episode may be a little longer than my usual short and sharp episodes, but it's a topic that needs a closer, more detailed look. Do listen right to the end, because I have a couple of questions I'd like you to ponder. A few months ago on my blog, I explored the potential impact of AI on jobs, society, and authenticity specifically. If you want to read about that, I'll include the link on the podcast page. Now I'm taking a deeper look at how businesses are utilising AI, the potential pitfalls, and the ethical considerations we face. Let's begin by acknowledging that AI has been around for a while. Self-serve checkouts are an early AI, Facebook and other social media algorithms serving us only what we want to see, our smartphones always listening, Dragon and other voice-to-text technology, Google Home, Siri, Alexa, all forms of AI. However, the recent advancements in large language models like ChatGPT have sparked a surge in businesses incorporating AI into their content creation strategies. Google launched its own version of ChatGPT, first Bard, now Gemini. Zoom added AI capability with meeting summaries, real-time transcription and response composition, Canva with Magic Studio, and Microsoft added Copilot across its suite of programs to save hours in writing, sourcing, and editing time. Though they do add the proviso, sometimes Copilot will be right, other times usefully wrong. While there's potential benefits like increased efficiency and content generation for specific niche topics, there is a growing concern: the quality and authenticity of AI-generated content. Authenticity is something I am passionate about. It's in my branding. I'm not on the fake it till you make it bandwagon. Authenticity is absolutely essential in the virtual or remote space. I've personally observed an alarming trend of content that's painfully obvious as AI-generated. It's often generic, lacking the human touch, and fails to resonate with the audience. Now, I'm not advocating against AI altogether. I've used it myself in specific situations. So, for instance, a client asked me to use it to help with SEO, not an area of my expertise, and I told them so, but they had been using it themselves. They were happy to continue with what it generated, and they just wanted me to take over that specific task. In this case, AI takes the content and generates key phrases, an optimized title, and meta description. But I still edited the output to sound less robotic and ensure its accuracy. AI can also be a helpful research tool. Recently, I used it when I was working on a client's project, which is in a field that I'm unfamiliar with, so I had no idea what search terms to plug into Google. So I gave AI the task that he gave me. I then used the results to inform the searches that I then did on Google. I even plugged the exact AI-generated result into Google so that I could get to the page that ChatGPT pulled the info from, so I could reference it. This also allowed me to make further manual searches on Google. So while AI can't replace thorough research, it can provide valuable starting points and guide further exploration. However, it's crucial to remember that AI is simply a tool, and a tool shouldn't dictate our creative process. We need to use it responsibly and ethically, prioritising human expertise and critical thinking. As AI continues to evolve, the ethical considerations become even more complex. Take, for instance, the debate surrounding AI-generated images. While these images can be visually stunning, they raise concerns about potential copyright infringement and the impact on the graphic design industry. And let's be honest, an AI-generated image cannot elicit the same emotion as, say, the Mona Lisa. It certainly takes zero skill to use AI to generate an image, which begs the question, when everyone's a Michelangelo, does that mean no one is? We're also witnessing the potential misuse of AI, like the creation of deep fakes used to spread misinformation. Additionally, when Google launched Bard, scams in India and Vietnam immediately used it for creating ads that tricked business owners into downloading malware by having them click a link on an ad purportedly to download Bard. I've read one blog encouraging the use of ChatGPT to position yourself as an expert by taking content written by another, making it sound more comprehensive, adding details the original didn't cover, and sound like more of an expert. AI currently provides answers pulled from content that exists already on the web, created by humans and uploaded. In a few years' time, this will no longer be the case. As humans use AI more to generate content and upload that to the web, future generations may well be reading works of poetry, prose, fiction, and potentially, in quotes, fact, generated by AI. This emphasises the critical need for transparency and responsible development of AI technology. In an authors group on Facebook that I belong to, one member asked the question, if I have AI write my book, can I still put myself down as the author? I came up with the idea and want to ask it to generate the content expanding on that idea. A few of us commented, probably not, since they didn't actually write the content, that they would have to ensure there was no breach of someone else's IP or copyright, since AI doesn't come up with original content, but scrapes existing work online. That was one reason behind the 148-day Writers Guild of America strike, which ended in September 2023. Insurance companies are now asking copywriters whether they use AI in their work. There is an increased risk of liability if copyrighted content is pulled by it. Self-publishing sites like Amazon's KDP now have a checkbox asking authors to confirm whether AI has been used to generate the cover, content, or illustrations. On the other hand, journalists are being asked to use AI like ChatGPT when they're short on content. So does this spell the end of objectivity or rigorous investigation as journalists potentially become lazy and print whatever the AI finds, but pass it off as appropriately investigated news? Perhaps, as with images, there should be a footnote that the content was AI generated. Elon Musk warned that AI is both a positive and a negative. It has great promise and great capability, but with that also comes great danger. With the discovery of nuclear physics, you had nuclear power generation, but also nuclear bombs. In January 2024, ironically considering that quote, Elon Musk's Neuralink reported its first human patient receiving a brain implant representing his goal of symbiosis between the human brain and AI through neural interface technology. The rise of AI in content creation poses a unique challenge for businesses. While AI can provide efficiencies, I think relying solely on it can diminish brand authenticity and ultimately damage customer trust. AI uses the same sorts of words and phrases. Words like navigate, dynamic, dive in, let's, ever-evolving, and landscape, just to name a few. So when you robotically, pun intended, post what AI has provided for you without even trying to change the voice and make it sound like you, what's that doing to your brand? Is it right that you expect me to spend 10 or 15 minutes reading your content when you took 20 seconds having AI generate it? Isn't the implication that you rate your time as more valuable than mine? Is the content worth as much if it hasn't come from your expertise and effort? If you've not put any effort into its generation other than a 5-second instruction to AI? Are you dumbing yourself down and devaluing your expertise when you don't make the effort to put that expertise on paper yourself? The bottom line is, if you can't be bothered spending your time crafting the content to add value, why should I waste mine reading it? I think my conclusion from this is that whilst AI is a powerful tool with immense potential, it's crucial to ensure responsible use by prioritising human expertise, ethical considerations, and critical thinking. AI's creation needs to be curated by a human at the very least. I believe that in the not-too-distant future, as we all become more and more fatigued with AI-generated content, a business's point of difference may well be that they don't use AI for content creation. When we see that, It'll be like a breath of fresh air. It certainly means that due diligence will become even more important when you're looking at business partnerships with freelancers, as fake it till you make it gets a steroid injection. Should we believe even less of what we read on websites and about pages? We need to remember that AI is first and foremost a machine. It's not a human, it doesn't think, and it's dangerous to view something as human that has no emotion or the ability to think critically, and for which there is no consequence. There have been very real consequences for real humans through the use of AI, with it replacing copywriters, and in the case of one business, the owner had it take over marketing and not only did away with 2 junior marketing roles, but sacked the marketing lead role, 3 people out of work. Should we care? Some commentators say some jobs will go and others will emerge, but it's hard to pivot into a role that's more conducive to an AI world from a place of unemployment when there's going to be retraining involved. I also think we should care because 3 people out of work means 3 people not paying tax, which benefits us all, and 3 people on welfare, which doesn't. It's well known that not having a job can affect mental health and impact physical health and relationships. Having a job gives you a sense of security and purpose. You have a certain status in community. You can engage actively in society and have a sense of accomplishment. Economic participation is what helps people out of disadvantage. Post-COVID, we're looking at high rates of unemployment globally. With increasing uptake of generative AI and business owners being sold the notion it can replace various roles within their organisation, I do feel we are at risk of losing something more significant than jobs. At the same time, we need to remember that developers play on our human side by creating AI that speaks to us in very human terms and responds to our input as if it is human, which is why I found myself thanking it for answers. This is deliberate. We've all heard stories of people suffering various degrees of distress who are using AI to replace human interaction. One woman gave ChatGPT a name and described it as her best friend when she was experiencing grief after a devastating loss. This is not good. Seth Godin said it this way: "We know exactly what the code base is, and yet within minutes most normal humans are happily chatting away, bringing the very emotions to the computer that we'd bring to another person. We rarely do this with elevators or door handles, but once a device gets much more complicated than that, we start to imagine the ghost inside the machine." I guess the question is, if we don't want AI replacing human creators, how can we leverage this technology as a tool to enhance our creative process while preserving authenticity and ethical responsibility? Professor Toby Walsh, Chief Scientist at the University of New South Wales AI Institute, said, "Technology is not destiny. We get to choose where it goes. We need to work out how we ensure we include everyone. It has great scope for good, but it won't happen unless we make the right choices." Thanks for joining me on this discussion of AI and its impact on business brand and authenticity. As we close out, I want you to ponder these questions. In our quest for greater efficiency, we have to ask, at what cost? Creativity? Critical thinking? Logic? Brand? Authenticity? Respect? Reputation? Health? As more and more AI-generated content in the form of blogs, articles, newsletters, books, and images flood the internet, it raises the question, who's the robot? Who exactly is training who? Think about this next time you log onto a web page and you check all the boxes containing stairs to prove you're human. You've been listening to the Virtual Business Show. I'm Lynn Prowse-Bishop. Thanks so much for joining me.